So we've talked a lot about the suburban market, and certainly the headlines over the last 18 months have been this idea of people fleeing the city, driving the spike in the sales in the suburbs. And while we know people aren't fleeing the city, we certainly have seen a spike in sales in the suburbs. Why do you think this is happening, and do you see it continuing?
Yeah, definitely. I think that it's a really good point. The city is actually faring really well, but the suburbs are faring really well. And what I think has changed the dynamic in the suburbs is that we're seeing what I kind of call the food chain again. And so a $250,000 or $300,000 seller is now buying the $500,000 or $600,000 home. That $600,000 buyer is now buying the $1 million home, and on and on. And even the $1 million+ seller is now downsizing and staying in the market. So prior to the pandemic, we didn't have that food chain, if you will. I felt like people were selling and leaving the state of Illinois. And so now they're reinvesting in these communities, and that is what I think is driving the suburban market.
I've also noticed that there's quite a bit of condo and townhome development along the train lines in some of these really nice downtown suburban areas. Are you seeing that on the middle range, the high range, and do you see that continuing?
I do. I think that we're seeing the baby boomer generation downsize, but they want to stay in the community. They may have family, they may have grandchildren, and they're liking luxury condos and townhomes in and around these downtowns. So the biggest driver for the suburbs, in addition to what we just talked about, has really been the downtowns getting more lively and more exciting and creating this atmosphere that, while we know it's never the city of Chicago, there's still really good walk-to opportunities where you can enjoy an evening out and actually feel like you got out and you got away, whereas before we felt like we had to drive to the city to do that. So I think that, coupled with the commuter train to the city, and all of the dynamics that are driving suburban growth, are going to continue to into the future.